All right, let's dive into something that might just flip everything you thought you knew about job hunting on its head. It's called the volume experience method. And the central idea is pretty wild. To win the job search, you've actually got to get really good at losing. Sounds crazy, right? Let's break down how that actually works. So, where did this whole thing come from? You might be surprised. It didn't come from some fancy business school professor. Nope, it came from a barber, a guy named Errol Lloyd Jones, who's been cutting hair for 34 years. And from his barber chair, he saw something that most of us miss. He put it perfectly. The advice we're giving young people about careers is not just wrong, it's backwards. He was watching a system that was basically designed to make young people fail before they even had a chance to get started. So what is the fundamental problem here? Well, it boils down to something we can call the perfection trap. We've somehow created this culture where the pressure to be absolutely perfect is just paralyzing young people who are trying to find a job. Errol tells this story about a young guy who walked into his shop just completely crushed. This kid had spent 2 solid weeks, 2 weeks, on a single perfect job application. And what did he get for all that effort? 1 rejection letter and 0 hope. He treated this one application like it was a marriage proposal. So when that no came, it felt deeply personal and devastating. This leads to a bigger issue that Errol calls the passenger problem. It's that sinking feeling that your life is just something that happens to you, that you're not in the driver's seat. The way we teach career advice today pretty much trains young people to just sit in the back, buckle up, and hope someone else takes them somewhere good. And here's where you can really see the difference. The old way, you spend weeks agonizing over one perfect application. The result? Tons of stress, probably 0 interviews, and definitely 0 options. The VM way completely flips the script. You send out 20+ applications, treating it all like practice. And suddenly, you're getting multiple interviews and, the real game changer, multiple offers. So why is volume so incredibly important? Well, this number says it all. 118. That's the average number of people applying for a single job posting. Just let that sink in. Okay, so think about it. When you're just one person in a sea of 117 other applicants, trying to be perfect isn't a strategy. It's not. It's basically like buying a lottery ticket and just hoping your numbers come up. You simply can't win a numbers game by pretending the numbers don't exist. To get out of this trap, you need a totally different mindset. It's all about changing your relationship with failure, about turning every single no you get into knowledge. See what they did there? It all starts with this one phrase, a phrase we all know too well: I can't. It feels like such a final statement, doesn't it? It's that fixed mindset voice in your head saying, I'm not good enough, so why even bother trying? But watch this. Watch what happens when you just add one little word at the end. I can't yet. This is a concept made famous by psychologist Carol Dweck, and it changes absolutely everything. A permanent failure becomes a temporary situation. It says, okay, I'm not there now, but I have a plan to get there. It's not just happy thoughts, it's a launch pad for action. And this brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, reframing what rejection even is. It's not a judgment on who you are. The method puts it this way. Every no you get isn't rejection, it's data, it's training. It's 1 rep closer to your eventual yes. It's like being in the gym. Every failed lift makes you stronger for the next one. Okay, so the mindset is set. Now let's talk about the actual how-to, the practical steps of the volume method itself. Here it is. The magic number is 10. The goal is to get a baseline of 10 good enough applications out the door every single week. Not perfect, just good enough. This is the pace that builds momentum, that creates the opportunities you need. And this isn't just some random number pulled out of thin air. It's actually rooted in some pretty solid psychology. The psychologist Albert Bandura talked about mastery experiences. He found that real, durable confidence doesn't come from just telling yourself you can do it. It comes from actually doing it, seeing what happens, making adjustments, and doing it again. Volume is what fuels those mastery experiences. And look, the data backs this up completely. On the Jumpstart-Careers platform, which was literally built on these ideas, the difference is just staggering. Applicants sending out just a few applications a month, they're looking at maybe a 12% interview rate. But the high-volume folks, the ones sending 10 or more a week, their interview rate jumps to 43%. That's nearly 4 times the chances. It's a no-brainer. Now, what's really cool is that this isn't just about getting any job. It's actually a system for learning how to make good life decisions. Think about it. Step 1, volume creates options. Step 2, having options forces you to sit down and figure out what you actually care about. Step 3, those priorities become your compass, guiding your choices. And step 4, making a choice you've thought through, well, that gives you this incredible sense of ownership and real satisfaction. Which brings us right to the ultimate goal, the whole point of the volume experience method. It's about making that shift, that transformation from being a passive passenger to being the driver of your own career. I mean, really, it comes down to a simple choice. Are you going to be the passenger? The person who gets one offer and just gratefully accepts it because, hey, it's something. Or are you going to be the driver? The person who has multiple offers on the table and gets to analyze them, compare them, and make a strategic choice that's right for them. It's the difference between taking what's given to you and choosing your own destination. Let's make this real. Take Tyler's situation. He had 3 different offers: a warehouse job, a retail job, and an admin job. By just putting them side by side in a simple chart like this, something amazing happened. He saw that even though the warehouse job paid the most per hour, the admin job had the highest potential for growth. And in that moment, he had a revelation. For him, right now, growth was way more important than the immediate pay. And that's it. That's the secret sauce of this whole method. When you have choices, you can no longer avoid asking yourself the single most important career question there is: what do I actually want? It starts as a system to get a job, but it turns into a system for discovering who you are. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. If you are struggling out there in the job market, it is not a reflection of your value as a person. You're not broken. You're just undertrained. Job hunting is a skill. And like any other skill, you get better at it with practice, with reps. So that leaves us with one final provocative question. Instead of stressing about how can I get a yes, this method completely reframes the goal. It gives you permission to start training, to start collecting your data, to get your reps in right now. So the only real question left is, what's stopping you from going out and getting your first no today?